What's up, guys? I am James Hake. It is Friday, February 18th, 2022. Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. And I am an unapologetic American patriot. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. I think we'll have a fun, should we have a fun loosey-goosey Friday show, guys? Let me know. We have a fun Friday, period. Friday, end of story. Not that it's the end, but we have the Fallen State coming up with the Joker of New Orleans. I like to call him the Joker of New Orleans, but you guys just like to pronounce it differently. Anchor Baby's new show. Church with J.C. Lee Peterson coming up. I heard it was an excellent women's forum for ladies only. Third Thursday of the month last night. Men's forum, first Thursday. AFPAC 3 coming up a week from tonight. AFPAC 3, AFPAC.events. JLP speaking there. America First Political Action Conference. Monday's President's Day. We should be live. I have a short week next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. JLP will be live Thursday, I do believe. But I don't think I will. But anyway, we're going to cover Trump versus Letitia James. And I want to talk mess about this, what I consider to be a dumb, evil judge. He's old, and I respect old people, but he doesn't look the same as he once did, which is common among old people. And, you know, I respect the old people, but this guy, I don't know. And I want to give you an update. Pray for Kim Potter, the white female police officer. Yeah, it shouldn't be female police officers, but this is wrong what they're doing to her. Has her sentencing today, I hear, for killing that 20-year-old blah, 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 Daunte Wright over in Minneapolis, I think. And BLM out of control, still being propped up by the sleazy Biden administration, even down in Brazil. What a slap in the face. There are some based Brazilians, I think, who are not for that mess. Shout out to the Canadian trucker convoy. I hear that there are arrests going on. You guys can call in as well, give me tips or feedback or questions or comments. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
The Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about the insanity in the world, but keep your chin up, kings and queens? Queens, no, princesses. You can call in 888-775-3773.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. What I'm hearing from a person on YouTube. By the way, my YouTube stream, what happened yesterday? It got cut off to like 2 minutes. Ridiculous. But what I'm hearing from the YouTube chat is that Kim Potter got 2 years, 24 months. Well, thank you for the heads up. If that's true, they wanted more than 7 years. Ridiculous. For errantly shooting a gun when she meant to shoot her taser. And this guy is I say he got what he deserved. No, it's not a death sentence. Be quiet. You're not honest if you think that, oh, it's not a death sentence just to run from cops. Stupid. That's not what I'm talking about, because we all know that you take your life into your hands when you act erratic around anybody with a gun. Anyway, I want to talk, before I get to that, I will get to that later. I want to talk about, right in with this Donald Trump versus Letitia James, who is not an honest woman, in my opinion. I do not think that this was an honest woman. First of all, she's a Democrat. Second of all, she's a New York politician, Attorney General of the state of New York, the top law enforcement officer, a black female, not a skinny, dainty, pretty black female either. Anyway. And then there's this dumb, evil judge. I saw this in Newsweek, and it's been happening over the past few days. And you guys complain about what Trump hasn't been doing for the people. And maybe they're valid complaints, but he's going through a lot himself. Granted, he has lawyers to take care of this stuff, but I don't know, man. I wonder what it's like to go through what he's going through and what his people are going through. This is from Newsweek, which is a far-left outlet. You guys know that. It's ridiculous. Actually, Newsweek has covered Hake. Did you know that? They didn't name me specifically, but they did this hit piece against Jesse Lee Peterson, and then they said, oh, by the way, at the end of the article, his producer has said that the N-word isn't racist. Nice. And they're referring, of course, to me. I'm quite sure. That was when I was producer, or maybe I wasn't even producer anymore, but whatever. But Newsweek reports a judge knocks a Trump lawyer for claiming that he's a protected class. Well, seems kind of dishonest. So this Manhattan Supreme Court judge, Arthur Engoron, Engoron. Arthur Engoron. And I had to look him up because I like to look up these judges who say and do these weird things. And he's a weird-looking guy. I have a few photos of him, but maybe I'll get to that. He pushed back after our real president, Donald J. Trump's attorney, said that her client, female attorney, her client was part of a protected class and facing discrimination from New York so-called Attorney General Letitia James. Letitia James, I've talked about her before. She's the one who went after Andrew Cuomo, who is a snake. Indeed, he is a snake. I'm chuckling because I get distracted by the chat. They say funny things. But I won't tell you what they're saying right now. Letitia James went after Andrew Cuomo, who is the snake of a governor of New York, a Democrat, Italian, one of those Italian Democrats. Not a sensible Italian or halfway sensible Italian like our friend, Louis Buzzi. Is he a friend? Louis Buzzi. No, Andrew Cuomo is an evil person, but he is not Me Too worthy. Nobody is Me Too worthy. These Me Too false accusations. Oh, he was coming on strong with the women. Give me a break. And she went after him, and then he resigned under duress. What a mess. And now they have a female governor who's maybe even worse than Andrew Cuomo. So this Letitia James, she tried to run for governor, I think. She wanted to run for governor. Anyway, Letitia James and her team of lawyers/liars in the government are seeking to force Trump to comply with a subpoena to answer questions under oath as part of the New York investigation into his business practices, the Trump Organization. Engoron, this judge, Manhattan judge, Arthur Engoron, heard arguments on the case Thursday. It issued a decision later in the day ruling Trump and two of his children are not part of a protected class, meaning they're not white. White is not a protected class, right? Because they're going after them because they're white and Christian, or she's not Christian. But, because they're conservatives. They're the Trumps. And everybody hates Trump. Everybody who's evil, especially. So they must comply with the subpoenas and testify as part of the Attorney General's probe. Can you imagine the Trump's testifying? Trump's attorney is Alina Habba, suggested the entire investigation was discriminatory and due to the former president's politics. Yeah, of course it is. Habba argued that Letitia James, a Democrat, aimed to prevent Trump from running for president and winning again in 2024. She described Trump as part of a protected class. And this is nice. Here's another headline from Newsweek from earlier. Donald Trump says Letitia James' probe into his business is a racist attack. Don't you love it when Trump says stuff like that? Don't you love it? While claiming his long-term accounting firm cut ties with his company following intimidation from legal authorities. And I reported this in Hake News, at least. Mazars or something like that was Trump organization's, whatever you want to call that, accounting firm. In a lengthy statement dated February 15th, our real greatest president, Trump, hid out at New York Attorney General Letitia James. Hang tight, callers, I will get to you. And Manhattan District Attorney, the new Manhattan DA, no longer is it Cy Vance Jr., that supposedly white guy who hates Trump too, another Democrat, but it's now a black guy, Alvin Bragg. Both are black. Trump hid out at both of them. Nice. After accounting firm Mazars announced they will no longer work with the Trump organization. As a decade's worth of financial statements, quote, cannot be relied upon. And so I have pictures of this judge who said, no, it's not a protected class. They're not going after Trump because he's white. Yeah, he is. Because he's white and right. If he were right, if he were white and wrong, they wouldn't be going after him. But since he's white and right, they're going after him. So let me show these pictures of, this is from 2016 when maybe under the, I don't know if the Obama administration got him. Hang tight, callers. This is Arthur Engoron from 2016 when he was inducted as a justice in the Supreme Court of the New York State. So I guess Obama wouldn't appoint him in 2016. It would have been the state of New York, right? So he's a Supreme Court, so-called state Supreme Court justice, Engoron. And this is from the Wheatley raid. Look at him. It's rough getting old. Let me show. Okay. I don't mean to be mean, but can you pull up his, okay, there's him alongside his brothers, I guess. And I guess all three of these guys, look, the one on the right, okay, so those of you listening on audio podcasts, we're looking at three relatively old-looking guys. Some of them look younger than others, and I think that they're all brothers wearing suits. Arthur Engoron, I guess this is when he was inducted into the New York State Supreme Court. Arthur Engoron, judge, anti-Trump judge, I guess, I gather. And he looks kind of, his hair's receded, and his hair's kind of long and big, sort of. But under control, but big and long, and his eyebrows are all white. And he's pretty skinny, and he's pretty old. And then next to him, to his right, is what appears to be the second oldest guy, I guess, who looks like, does that not look somewhat like Vladimir Lenin? Does that look like Lenin to you? To me, it looks like Lenin. Lenin being the Russian communist guy, I think, Leninism. And then to his right is another guy who's also skinny. They're all skinny, but old-ish. Not that old, the guy on the left. But anyway, so, and apparently they all went to this same college, too. Wheatley College. And then, okay, so more pictures of this guy. He took pictures with another judge who's much younger, who graduated in '89, and another guy who graduated in '67, who still has black hair, must be Italian. Those Italians keep their black hair. And then there's this guy. Oh my gosh, well, I don't want to be mean, but he does seem to have sort of a weird face. Seth Katz, class of '72. He's like old, but he has that young person hair, surfer hair. And these are all like his college buddies, I guess, or other lawyer friends, lawyer/liar friend. Seth Katz is a lawyer/liar. I looked into him because he just looks so unique. Like his face, is it crooked or is it, what's going on? He looks like he has dark eyebrows, gray hair, gray 5 o'clock shadow, kind of like not quite a beard, but it's also more than just a few days of not shaving. But you can see his skin through his whiskers, gray, black, white, and kind of a tanned face. And this guy, I have another picture of this lawyer, Seth Katz, because I want to get off of him, on him. No, get off topic on him. That's what I'm referring to. Seth Michael Katz, former fitness catalog model and professional musician. He also is a lawyer and a former on-air radio personality. He went to DJ in some of New York City's most exclusive clubs. Some of these lawyer people, and look at his wild hair. And he's like a wild young person hair, but he's all old and wrinkly, but he has a good tan, kind of like my grandpa had a good tan like that. But he has this weird smile and like a slick, untrustworthy lawyer look. You guys ever seen, which I haven't really seen it, I don't think, Better Call Saul? Type of a slick, untrustworthy lawyer look. Okay, anyway, that's him. That's the buddy of Arthur Engoron, Trump judge. Let me show you a young picture of this Trump judge, Arthur Fredericks Engoron, way back in 1967 in his yearbook photo. He looks like a little boy with a little bit of a funny face, I guess. But, you know, everybody can sometimes look a little funny. But he looks almost unrecognizable from how young he was to today. It's just something that I found kind of remarkable. Rough getting old. And I don't hold it against anybody who knows what I may look like if I ever get old, if I live that long. Can hardly recognize old people from when they were younger. But plastic surgery makes it worse, guys. Don't do that. Just a side note. I don't know if any of these guys, maybe Katz did. There is this swimmer, speaking of people getting old, in Fox News commercials. You know, because I sometimes look at the Fox News on silent during the radio show and during the day when doing my work. And there's this swimmer in a commercial on Fox News from Relief Factor. And I just had to show it to you guys. If you guys are watching the video feed, if you're listening to Hake obsessed with people's hair. If you're watching the video feed, hopefully I will describe it for the audio listeners, live audio or audio podcast. There's this guy named Mark Spitz. Don't know anything about him, but apparently he was a young swimmer. And I have pictures of him from this Relief Factor commercial. It's founded on iSpot.tv. And this guy, Mark Spitz, was an Olympic swimmer. He won like 3 gold medals or something. And he's young. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He's young, full head of dark brown hair, has a mustache like those old guys from the 70s or whenever they were used to in the 80s. Swimming all like young, energetic. And then there I have another picture of him with a turtleneck on and a USA Olympics jacket thing from like the 80s, I assume. I don't know. And he has a full head of hair, mustache, smile, young, fit. And then, fast forward to today, he appears in a commercial, and he's slim, but he's decidedly older, and all of his hair turned white. And a bit softer looking. Granted, old people get a little bit softer. But, man, and he's standing outside of the pool. Mark Spitz, 9-time or 3-time Olympic gold medalist. And he's doing a Relief Factor commercials. Relief Factor, I think, is pain relief. So Anyway, that's that judge, and that's aging. It's aging for you. Just a side note. Okay, so, but let me get back to Trump. No, that's him. That is him. So let me show you. I have found a way to get Trump's statements. t.me/real_Donald J. Trump. t.me/real_Donald J. Trump. Unfortunately, you get a lot of his endorsements, which I don't really pay it. He's 75, James. Give him a break. But that's my point. This aging thing. That's my point. This aging thing is not right. But anyway, getting a little tired of seeing these goofy faces. Yeah. And I'm on Telegram. I don't Telegram too much, but I am on there. The Hake Report, JLP Talk is on Telegram, and I'll tell you about others. But this is Trump's statement on the situation, because they're going after him bad. And they're going after him because he loves America. He's kind of part of us, we the people. We have a great company with fantastic assets, far more valuable than what was listed in our financial statements, Trump states. Anyone with even a minor degree of financial acumen would recognize. And he goes on, my company has among the best real estate and other assets around anywhere in the world, has significant amounts of cash, relatively very little debt, which is totally current. The Mazars, whatever, his accounting firm, June 2014 Statement of Financial Condition reported before I ran for president in 2015. Based on the information provided, it was concluded the value of the Trump brand was in the $2.8 to $3 billion range. Based on current enthusiasm and transactions, which however will take place, Trump states, the brand value today could be, in my opinion, substantially higher. But even at the low number, this would impart a net worth of approximately $8 to $9 billion. Remember, when the Attorney General, and he's talking about the New York Attorney General and stuff, they're accusing him of overvaluing what his assets are to get better loans or something like that. Anyway, the Attorney General or the District Attorney say they think my financial statements may be high. I don't even include these branding numbers in them, which is far more than any discrepancy they may have, if there is a discrepancy at all. Follow what he's saying? The accounting firm Mazars has been threatened, harassed, and insulted like virtually no other firm has ever been. They were essentially forced to resign from a great long-term account by the prosecutorial misconduct of a highly political but failed gubernatorial candidate. She tried to run for governor and failed. Letitia James, the black female who's going after Trump. And Trump goes on, and the Hillary Clinton-run District Attorney's Office of Manhattan. Whoa, Hillary Clinton is running it? Ooh. Where crime? Just a brief interruption here. Okay, the Hillary Clinton-run District Attorney's Office of Manhattan, also going after Trump says. And Trump says that's where crime in New York has reached levels not even thought possible, including the vicious killing of a 35-year-old woman in her Chinatown apartment yesterday. He put this out on the 15th. I guess on Valentine's Day, that 35-year-old Asian woman was followed home by that crazy-looking guy. I covered this story earlier this week. Crazy-looking guy, black, with like a strange name, Asaman or something like that. But a stranger face. And I'm okay with strange faces, but he did this horrible crime, according to the reports, right? Followed her in the house. He wanted her sexually. He was black. She was Asian. And she's not the one who let him in for the shower. That was a Utah woman. I don't know if this woman let him in, or if he forced his way in. And he cut her up and killed her. Shameful. Anyway, Trump mentioned that story. And he said, killed yesterday in an apartment by a man who should never have been allowed to be on the streets. Murder and other crimes in Manhattan and New York have gone through the roof. Wow, he must listen to the Jesse Lee Peterson show. JLP says through the roof a lot. Some crimes by as much as 100%, Trump says, as the Democrat-run DA and AG, District Attorney and Attorney General, spends historic amounts of time, energy, and money trying to get Trump. And that's so true. Everybody knows that. They're just trying to get Trump. And anybody who supports him. That's you. Most of you. Even if you don't support him anymore, but you supported him at one point, you're a nationalist. They're trying to get you. Lawyers from Hillary Clinton's law firm, Paul, Weiss, Rifkind, Wharton, and Garrison, have temporarily left the firm and gone to work in the district attorney's office in order to viciously make sure that the job gets done. Is that true? Wow. The actions of the AG and DA, including the radical left Westchester County DA, who was a Trump-hating contributor of MSNBC. Whoa. MSNBC, Trump hater. And he's a DA out of Westchester County, reveal the vile and malicious intent that underlies the nonstop barrage of insults and threats aimed at me and the Trump organization. I keep on saying admin, but it's organization. Including their years-long review of over 9 million pages of documents that go far beyond the statute of limitations. Letitia James got elected by violently attacking Donald J. Trump, Trump states, even though she knew nothing about me. Likewise, District Attorney Alvin Bragg, another black, Alvin Bragg bragged, quote unquote, that he has sued President Trump over 100 times, more than anybody else. Wow, he's sued him 100 times? More? He is now working hand in hand with people from the law firm, which is one of Hillary Clinton's biggest donors. Chuck Schumer's brother, Robert, is a partner and runs the firm, Trump alleges. After many years as the district attorney, the previous DA, Cy Vance, I mentioned him, the white previous Manhattan DA, Cy Vance, he's white, supposedly, recently left without being able to charge me with anything other than a fringe benefits case about which the Wall Street Journal editorial board commented saying, Manhattan DA Cyrus Vance Jr. and New York Attorney General Letitia James subpoenaed millions of documents and years of tax returns, and that's all they've come up with. Wall Street Journal editorial board. Wall Street Journal is a rhino outlet. They're not pro-Trump. They're anti-Trump. They're purportedly somewhat conservative or somewhat more reasonable marginally than the far left outlets, but they went after PewDiePie for this imaginary racism stuff. Maybe different individuals within the Wall Street Journal, but same outlet. So they're being fair here, apparently. They go on to say, the Wall Street Journal does, the political motives at work are transparent. AG James, Letitia James, black female, all but promised a selective prosecution. That is, pick a target, Trump, then search for a crime to allege. It looks like political targeting. Wow. I will get to your calls, guys, but let me just finish this. It's a little bit longer, I promise. Only a little bit longer. The charge against a 74-year-old long-term and wonderful employee is that he did not pay taxes on a company car or company apartment. And he's referring to a guy named Alan, I guess. Some 75-year-old long-term employee. They did not pay taxes on a company car or a company apartment. Do others pay such a tax, Trump asks? Did Cy Vance pay a tax on his car? And a charge having to do with my paying for the education of his grandchildren. So Trump paid for the education of this 75-year-old long-term employee's grandchildren. Ooh. Murders all over the city, and they're worried about me helping with young children's education, Trump says. We may be the only company ever criminally charged by a district attorney on a fringe benefits case. I believe Alan is innocent. Alan must be the guy who's charged. I hadn't heard about that. You guys know what he's talking about? Hake, where's Trump now? He's making it happen. He's on Telegram. t.me/real_Donald J. Trump. At least they're reposting whatever he puts out. Because I can't get the emails. I sign up, it doesn't work. Anyway, Mazar's decision, Trump goes on, to withdraw was clearly a result of the AG's and DA's vicious intimidation tactics used. This was from February 15th, Trump's statement. Also, on other members of the Trump organization, Mazars, who were scared beyond belief in conversations with us, made it clear that they were willing to do or say anything to stop the constant threat which has gone against them for years. See, they go after anybody related to Trump or associated with Trump. They were broken, he says, with quotes, and just wanted it all to stop. I wish they had the courage to fight it out, Trump says, but they didn't. And who can blame them, Trump says. But in their forced letter of surrender, Mazars does strongly state that all work was performed in accordance with professional standards and that there was no material discrepancies in the financial statements. Wow. Trump says, he goes on, this is that lengthy statement defending himself. This crime against me is a continuation of a witch hunt, the likes of which has never been seen in this country before. From Russia, which has now been proven by the Durham findings to be a complete and total fraud, to the Mueller report, Robert Mueller, the rhino, with the 7 angry Democrats or however many Democrats who were going after Trump. Impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, and so much more. There has never been anything like it. And he frequently will say that this is not just an attack on him, it's an attack on you. So some of the people saying, oh, Trump is always complaining, me. I don't think that that's a fair complaint. But anyway, the people of our country are angry and upset and losing faith in our system and our country itself. That's so true. That's so true. Instead of the sham investigation of a great company that has done a spectacular job for New York and beyond, why isn't law enforcement and the fake news media, which has been so destructive to our country, very true, looking into the fact that Hillary Clinton and her minions got caught spying into the office of the President of the United States? That's a reference to the story I told you yesterday. A crime so grave it once called for the death penalty as punishment if caught. Yeah, because it would be considered treason, right? It doesn't get any worse than that. After 5 years of constant bombardment, this political and racist attack must stop. Yeah, he sees it's anti-white. He's always said stuff like that. He told this black NPR female so-called reporter one time over a question. He's that's such a racist question. That's Trump. Nice. Calling the blacks racist. I love that boomer. I love boomers. Anyway, he says, it doesn't get any worse than that. After 5 years of constant bombardment, this political and racist attack must stop. Look to the murderers, drug dealers, and rapists instead. Nice. Thank you, Trump. Am I the only one who likes Trump? Why didn't Trump lock Hillary up? Asks Slam Free Poetry. He stinks. That's why. He didn't say stinks. He said a different word. But I know he tried to, though. He tried to, but the White House counsel, is it a bad excuse? Is it a bad excuse? I think that as I read, the White House counsel, Trump wanted to look and investigate Hillary. The White House counsel in his administration said, no, you can't do that. It looks politically motivated. Stupid, evil, lame, nicey nice White House counsel. Trump wanted to. He sought to. So maybe take that for what it's worth. Like you do better, Slam Free Poetry. But anyway, so that's that for Trump. I hope you guys were able to follow that to a point. I like Trump, says Bernie Mac. Nice. See, Bernie Mac likes Trump. Isn't he dead? I thought Bernie Mac was dead. But right on, Bernie Mac. Anyway, let me get to some calls. You can call in 888-775-3773. I'm wearing my unapologetic American Patriot t-shirt. I got it back before, I think it was around the time or right before Zimmerman was acquitted in the so-called murder, which it was not a murder, of that thug, Trayvon Martin. A young thug. I'm going to talk about another young thug who ran from cops, got himself killed, and they're blaming the female officer for it. Ridiculous. But first, let me get to Russ in Hampton, Virginia. Russ, how are you doing?
Yeah, man. Yo, let me tell you something. When I call you and I have a thought that I want to bring to you, I put on hold, and when I listen to the things that you say, there are like 35 different topics that I want to talk about because of the ridiculous things that you say.
Nice.
You are a Trump supporter? Trump? Are you serious? Trump?
Are you you're surprised at this?
No, I'm not surprised that you're a Trump supporter.
Okay. Because I'm so sensible, right? And Trump is a sensible man?
No. Trump is the most idiotic imbecile that has ever been the president of the United States. He's a liar.
He's an idiot for Christ.
No, he's an idiot, period.
Yeah, idiot for Christ.
How do you know that? How do you know that he's a Christian? How do you know that?
Because he acts like a Christian. He doesn't back down from telling the truth. He doesn't kiss up to liars and snakes.
Telling the truth?
Yeah.
He is a liar. Dude.
Not true.
Let me tell you something. What?
Not true. He's not a liar. You're lying. Anyway, go on.
President Trump lies so much that they have a liar total for him. They count
Who's
the lies
they?
that he
Who's
told.
they?
All right.
Huh?
Where was President Trump's father born?
I forget.
He was born in New York.
Okay.
Where did Donald Trump say his father was born?
I don't know.
He said his father was born in Germany.
Oh,
That's
really?
a lie.
I never heard him say that.
Well, just because you didn't hear it doesn't mean nothing. He says it in one of his books.
And what does that lie, quote unquote, lie mean to you?
It means that he's a liar. That's
No.
what it means.
Who cares where his father was born? This is not something that matters. He tells the truth, and that's why people hate him. And you can't admit that the lying mainstream media are the ones accusing him of being a liar. They're the liars, and you fell for it. What a sucker.
James.
Yes. That's my name.
Your father was born in New York, and you say he was born in Germany. That is a lie.
Who cares?
Makes you a liar.
No, that's stupid.
Now, listen,
Asmodor states with the super chat. No,
stop,
you whoa.
Stop.
You stop.
No,
I'm going to put you on hold.
Now
I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to put you on hold. All right, I put him on hold. Caller is ridiculous, says Bernie Mac, who did die in 2008, but apparently he's back to life. I've been seeing him in the JLP and Hake chat. Very nice, especially in the JLP chat, I think. Asmodor states with the super chat on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report. Lines are full, guys. Isn't this peace and quiet very nice? Hang on, Russ. Trump's grandfather was born in Germany, states Asmodor. Did you know that JLP called his grandpa Dad? I wonder if Trump was either misspoke by saying, oh, my dad was born in Germany, meaning his grandpa, or maybe he meant my father, as in my forefather was born in Germany. I wonder if this is a misinterpretation, and who cares if he lied, quote unquote, lied about where his dad was. What difference does it make? To reference what Hillary Clinton said. But he told the truth about the people coming in through Mexico, and they overreacted about that. He told the truth about the Charlottesville situation. Very fine people on both sides of the Confederate monuments debate, right? Which is generous to the left, right? And lot of violence on many sides. That was a true statement at the Charlottesville situation. Case after case where they overreacted to him, he was saying something true. Even the S-hole countries, SH blank blank hole countries that he allegedly said, according to the New York Slimes, that's a true statement. That's why they overreacted. So here's lame Russ claiming Trump is a liar. We're coming back to him. Russ, you're back on.
Yeah. Okay. Can I speak now?
Yes, that's why you're back on.
You may trivialize the importance of the lie.
You can't even prove that it's a lie. You can't even prove that he said it. I don't even know that he said that.
What's up, man? Yeah. Well, just because you didn't see it doesn't mean that he doesn't. It's documented.
Oh, dear Russ.
Wait.
Oh.
They count Trump's lies. They have counters.
Who?
To count
Who?
lies.
Can you
that
admit
he
who it
tells.
is? Can you admit to me who it is who counted Trump's quote-unquote lies?
You can go on YouTube and count
Exactly.
the lies.
It's the mainstream media.
Wait.
No, you wait. No, you wait,
No,
Russ. I'm the host. I'm putting you on hold.
You can look at.
I put him on hold. We all know it's the mainstream media. And they twist, the mainstream media, they twisted this crack pipes thing into being a quote-unquote lie, when in reality, safe smoking kits, that includes crack. It may or may not include a glass pipe. Ooh, technicality. It's not a lie. Same thing with Trump. He said they're rapists, and they said, that's a lie. They're not all rapists. He never said all. He said they are rapists. There are rapists coming across the border. And they called that a lie. So this guy is a liar listening to liars. Russ, you're a mess.
No, I'm not a mess.
Yes, you are. Here's another super chat for you. Asmodor states with the super chat.
I could care less about super chats, man.
But I do, because it's my show, and I'm going to read them, and you're going to listen. Whether on the air or off the air. I'll hang up on you if you want to have an attitude about it. Okay.
I can have an attitude, then you can hang up if that's what you choose to do, man.
Asmodor states with the super chat, every president has a giant list of lies and or misstatements that their political opponents compile, including the mainstream media.
I never said that Trump was the only lying president. I said
it's rude.
He was a liar.
It's rude to interrupt Asmodor's super chats. All politicians and public people contradict themselves over and over throughout their lives, and it's on record, says Asmodor. Ooh, big wow. Okay, Russ, now you can talk. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You didn't. I said what I had to say.
Okay. Nice talking with you.
No, I take it back. There's something else I want to ask you.
All right.
Because you're a Christian, right?
Indeed. Or at least in name.
I've talked to you before, and you brought up God to me when I didn't bring that up at all. So my question to you, because I'm not a Christian.
I can tell.
What does that mean? You can tell.
Because you love liars and hate truth tellers. You accuse truth tellers of being liars.
Who do I love and who is truth?
You don't love anybody, but you love lies and you support liars by opposing the truth tellers.
Who am I opposing?
Trump, Jesse,
God, Trump is
Jesus, Hake.
Trump is a truth teller?
Yeah.
Jesse is a truth teller?
Yep.
See, I'm not going to say anything because I'm on the air and I don't want to be disrespectful.
Thank you.
And I don't want to do anything like that.
Nice.
But yeah, I can tell you about the boy Jesse Lee Peterson. Yes, I can tell you.
He's not a boy. That's
Trump.
racist. I'm just playing around. I'm just totally playing around with you. Go ahead.
That's not racist. But again, I'm going to be respectful.
You're right. It's not racist to call blacks
boy. I'm
boy.
going to let you say whatever you want to say. I'm going to let you say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to be disrespectful.
Thank
because
you.
You're on the air and I understand.
Yeah, I totally appreciate it. Very mature.
Because I am mature.
Somewhat, at times, yes. Go ahead.
Anyway, I could be ignorant, disrespectful, and all that kind of stuff
We know.
I need to be, but I don't need to be right now. That's not this situation right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I could be violent.
I gotta go, Russ. Don't be talking like this.
Well, no. I'm just telling you the truth. I want that.
But we don't need the whole truth.
Say what?
We don't need that much information. Don't let it all hang out.
Well, I can if I want to, because I'm grown and I can do whatever I want to do.
I know, but this is my show, and I'm asking you not to.
And that's why I said I wasn't going to do that.
Cool.
That's why I said that.
All right.
So this is the other question I wanted to ask you. Because, again, you said you're a Christian, and that's why I started the question, and let me finish it. Every time, because I'm not a Christian, and every time I talk to Christians, they say that they know God exists. And I always wanted to ask a Christian, well, how do you know? Like, explain that to me so maybe I can see it. Because I'm an atheist.
Really?
Which doesn't mean that I don't think that God does, I'm not saying that God does not exist. I'm just saying that I don't see the evidence to believe. But maybe I just need to be shown. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. How do you know? Because maybe that will enlighten me to see it and believe.
Nice. You got to calm down and
good.
And look around.
I don't understand. What does that mean? Look around. I'm looking around. I'm sitting outside on my porch right now. I'm looking around. What does that mean?
And you can't tell that God is real from that?
No.
Okay. Well, people are blind. The fool says in his heart there is no God.
Yeah, those are words. That doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does mean something. That means you're a fool, and you said in your heart, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Absolutely nothing.
Yes, it does. It's in the Bible. It's a fact.
Whoa. Just because something is in the Bible, it's a fact. Satanists could come to me and say things, and should I listen to what they say because they said it, just like you said something?
Atheist literally means a belief that there positively is no God. Agnostic means one doesn't know.
No.
Agnostic means one doesn't know, claims to see no evidence.
No, stop. Atheist means that you personally do not believe. So I'm not saying there is no God. I'm not saying that.
What's your
Atheist
IQ?
Means that I don't believe. I personally don't believe.
What's your IQ?
It's none of your day. See, it's not
That's
my
fine.
IQ. It's none of your business.
Do you know it?
What does it matter?
It doesn't matter to me. The chat is asking.
They can tell them I said it's none of their business.
They can hear you too. Okay, chat. He says that it's none of your dang business. Sorry, kids. Okay, that's the best. Spell medieval.
Say what?
Spell medieval.
See, I will really got real disrespectful right now, but I'm not going to do that.
I know, that might be a disrespectful question, but whatever. You don't want to spell it? That's fine. I accept it. I wouldn't feel like being a performing monkey and spelling it. Oh, I'm going to spell medieval for you. But you can if you want to. You can shut up the chat. But you definitely don't have to.
If I spell something, it's going to be disrespectful, and I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm trying to be respectful on your show.
Have you asked JLP? Have you asked JLP how he knows there is a God?
I tried to, and he hung up on me before I could ask him the question. Yes.
Oh, so you have not asked him?
No, I tried to, but he hung up on me before I was able to ask him the question.
Okay. But in short, you have not asked him?
No, I was going to try again Monday to try to ask him that.
Right on.
But I'm asking you. Can't you?
I gave you my best answer. I gave you my best answer, Russ. I told you, look around, calm down, and I don't see how anyone can think, oh, there's no God, just by looking at creation. But
so wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around right now, and I see a road
Nice.
I see grass,
Right on.
and I see cars driving through. That means God?
Yep.
Yeah, that's real silly. That doesn't.
Okay.
That doesn't.
Same to you. It's same to you to start with the assumption that there is no God and I need proof that there is God. But I get it. Maybe there's something deeper that has to happen, for sure. Perhaps I only have a shallow understanding, intellectual understanding of God and can't express it to you. But also, your heart is just closed. You're a closed-hearted, blind, spiritually blind person. And legally,
See,
too.
That's what you say.
Yeah,
what
it is.
you say means absolutely nothing. I could say something totally different. And just because I said it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Very interesting, man. I appreciate your call. It's nice talking with you, Russ.
I think
I gotta
that
go.
you are shaded by Jesse Lee Peterson.
Take a hint.
And you're an...
I gotta go. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate the call. I was gonna give you the opportunity to say bye, but I had to hang up on you. We have one line open, guys, but I'm a little bit... You know what? Let me get to Austin in Washington State. Austin, thanks for holding. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. How you doing, bud?
Doing fine, thank you.
All right. I was going to talk to you about the BLM dude who got arrested and was bailed out by BLM for $100,000.
Really? You know what? I saw this on TKR official Telegram that, they were comparing side by side Quintez Brown, the Black Lives Matter communist supporter who he tried to assassinate allegedly, right? A Jewish Democrat would-be mayoral candidate, or he's a candidate for mayor of Louisville, Kentucky.
Right.
This Quintez Brown guy went off the deep end in the anger and allegedly shot at him at a campaign event. And he was thrown in jail, and he got out by BLM, a local BLM chapter, right? Bailed him out with $100,000?
And yep, and this is one of the most ridiculous things is that BLM is under investigation, like by the IRS, for not having any tax records for all the millions and millions of dollars, and not having a headquarters, not having anything. No proof of where the money's been going and all that. I mean, all that stuff should be frozen, and then they're gonna bail out alleged assassin. Just ridiculous.
Now,
I just wanted to.
Yeah, true. That's a local chapter, not the national or international globalist or whatever. Black Lives Matter. Is there a difference between like the local chapter? Were they funded by the national at all? Or
I mean, they should all be, considered affiliated in my opinion, if they're going by the name, I guess that's how they're trying to get away with it, is saying, we're not an organization, or, we are, and they just try and keep it like fluid like that, so they could try and escape the rules of the law for a nonprofit, organization. And it's all a joke, man, how they're just letting these people just get away with it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
When I saw that,
also wanted to bring up, you were bringing up the woman cop.
Yeah.
I just a quick personal opinion on that. I don't believe women should be cops, as sexist as that sounds. They're not strong enough to deal with these people, especially having to deal with a lot of times black guys, which are really strong, really fast, and really powerful. Just a quick opinion on that.
I agree, man. And she was training a rookie male cop, and the rookie male cop had this Daunte Brown 20-year-old mixed race black guy right next to the passenger door. He should have had him up against the back trunk or something. so that he couldn't
Right.
just slip and be all squirrely and fast and powerful like you
Exactly.
described blacks and get back into the
Exactly.
vehicle. What a mess.
Exactly,
Poor
man.
training.
Just a couple quick things I'm trying to bring up. I talked to you the other day about the kids protesting in front of the school here.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
about the mask mandates.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out that these kids are just doing it just to get out of school.
Yeah.
I catch them outside the store out here just eating ho-hos and just chilling out, dude. Not even doing anything.
Right.
And I had somebody talking to me yesterday, talking all this crap about the trucker convoys, and saying all this nasty stuff about them. And you know, it occurred to me that these trucker convoys in Canada have done more for the whole entire world than anything. All these bans are getting lifted. You know, yesterday, I'm in Washington. Governor Ainsley just lifted the mandates and all that for schools and all that. It's going to start on the 21st of next month, and it all has to do with those truckers, man. Those guys saved us, man.
That's cool.
And I had another question. Do you consider yourself like a conservative? Do you consider yourself anything and just go by, you know, your beliefs?
Wow. What was that?
Or how do you feel about that?
That was an EMP bomb. No. The lights blinked just now. You asked me if I consider myself conservative or just nothing and just go by whatever I see. Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, just like your beliefs, like, because I'm sure you don't believe in abortion. You don't,
right?
You know. So do you consider yourself like? Do you put yourself to a group? You know.
Yeah.
Republican or whatever, or do you just consider yourself like right wing or even alt right or anything like that?
I consider myself maybe a little bit further right than center right.
Right.
And conservative. I think I've considered myself conservative before Christian. I am white. And a lot of whites tend to be a little bit more fair-minded than a lot of the other people in the country.
Right.
And Republican. I do consider myself Republican. According to the older platform, which was not pro-gay or anti-racist, I don't think.
Right.
Maybe I could be mistaken about that.
Republican nowadays are just liberals 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's such a shame. But you are right that I don't really refer to myself as any of those things. I never called myself alt-right, although I find myself agreeing with a lot of what the old alt-right people talked about. But I don't think anybody considers themselves alt-right anymore because that name was dragged through the mud so badly that that I don't even know if that guy, Richard Spencer or others who really were touting that term call themselves that. I don't even know if they call themselves that, you know? I mean, he's a liberal.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. It's just a name that has been given to, you know, right-wing.
I am an unapologetic American patriot, which I don't even know about the word patriot. I think that's maybe talking a little too highly of myself. You know, I guess that will play out as I'm tested through life, you know? Whether I'm an actual patriot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you have to go through the fire. You know?
What's that?
I said you have to go through the fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hold
up.
up.
To get uncomfortable.
Endure to the end.
That's the only way to grow.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I also had one more quick thing.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself... Or are you going to consider DeSantis, like in the primaries, if Trump's running?
I don't think so. If Trump were to run, I would vote for Trump. If DeSantis runs and Trump does not run, I think I'm going DeSantis. And
Right.
I don't see it. Right now, I don't see anybody else. And but
Okay.
Trump
Yeah,
Trump is way above DeSantis, in my opinion. Still, DeSantis is
right.
as yet kind of untested, but Trump is tested.
Yeah.
And some say Trump failed, but he had failings, but I don't think that he failed.
Right. That dude you were just talking to before me, I mean, the crap he was bringing up about his lies and all that, insignificant lies.
Yeah, I know.
Completely insignificant. They're just like, what is, the size of a crowd, like, and just stupid things. Oh, biggest crowd ever, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Who freaking cares? Insignificant. His achievements were, second to none. But I got to say, though, just the one thing that really, really hurt me about him was the Julian Assange and Snowden thing. That, like, really, really got to me.
Oh, you were disappointed that Trump did not pardon Assange.
Yeah.
I understand that. Were you surprised, though?
He actually did something that helped get him elected,
Oh, yeah.
And bringing all that crap out. And that just really, really hurt me because he was true free speech.
Yeah. Did you have an expectation that Trump would do that, though? Would it be consistent with what you know of Trump to pardon him?
He never said anything while he was in office, but just the other thing about it was when he was interviewed about it, he said something along the lines of it never had even occurred to him to do that. And
okay.
I know that's a lie right there, just because he was very, very involved, with watching the news and all that. And it was all over the news. Like, is he going to pardon him? So I'm wondering, like, one thing that, conspiracy theory or whatever, is I wonder if the deep state had something to do with it, saying, maybe his family would be harmed and
oh, you mean Trump's family would be harmed if Trump were to pardon Assange? Is that what you're saying? That's one of your like conspiracy theories, like what you wonder might be true behind the scenes.
Absolutely, because that deep state runs so deep that
who knows? Assange, Ragnar0321 says Assange did a lot to expose how deep the corruption goes, and honestly, so did Trump.
Yeah.
Trump did too, just by being himself. I'll tell you, throughout the years, none of the things that Trump did that I disagreed with or that I would have wanted him to do or didn't do, stuff that Trump didn't do that I wanted him to do, or stuff that Trump did that I didn't want him to do, none of those things were like a surprise to me because they're consistent with how he's always been. He's always been, a gay-friendly, woman-friendly, New York liberal, like propping up women, putting them into power positions of, high positions. And he's never been what a lot of us or a lot of you guys who were pro real free speech and real journalism, like the Julian Assange and maybe Snowden and them. He's never been into that stuff like you guys are. So it's like you guys had this expectation that he was like you. And same with the white nationalists. They expected, because of his rhetoric, that he was a white nationalist like them, so-called white nationalists. Give me a break. Yeah. But he's always been more gracious or more going along with the mainstream than you guys are. Even though he does think for himself and does express himself in a unique way for a boomer, especially like a billionaire boomer, none of it is surprising to me. None of it was, I expected him and I'm disappointed now that he didn't, to pardon Assange. Or, I expected him to not put women in charge of different things, stuff like that. I knew going into it that he would do stuff like that. And I still love him because of the cultural change. The example he set is on standing on the true things that he said, which is something no other politician has done.
Absolutely, and I got you right there.
Yeah.
I got you. And once you become a politician, there's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's just it's a rough game, and I mean, just there's so much that he has gotten done, and just it makes me sick to think of how most of it has just been negated by Biden, and
Yeah.
it just makes me sick.
Yeah.
But hey, man,
good to hear from you, Austin.
I'll go ahead and absolutely, man. You have a great day. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you. Great call. Take care. We are over the top of the hour, guys. I'm coming to TATFACE from New York City next. There's one line open, guys, but I gotta share with you another, right? Don't I have to share with you another Hollydrift track? I think I should. Here is Hollydrift. Dark is Only Hours Away is the name of this song. It's not a song. The name of this noise piece from the 2004 album Waiting for the Tiller, Hollydrift. And it's track 8. And it is something like 6 or 7, I think it's like 7 minutes long. Cover your ears, you musical Philistines. Press mute or grin and bear it. Maybe you might enjoy it. I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight. Hollydrift. Super chat from Asmodor. James, you should start doing 3 hours Monday. Do 1 hour of content, then 1 hour of Hollydrift, then another hour of content. His entire CD is just the prelude, says Taking Care of Business. Brandon M. with the super chat. This is what the Manson family listens to before the Tate LaBianca murders. Did you know that I think that there was a Manson murder on Kings Row, which is the street that goes along the alley that goes right along the high school, my high school in El Monte, California, back in the 60s, when my cousins, my uncles, and aunts and mother were like in school. I think Hake used to do acid, says Metal Draper. No. No drugs. Demon music. Great start, Hake. That didn't sound like devil music at all. This is a Christian man, I think. Matthias Anderson, although Christians who are musicians in general are liberals, generally, or always. Matthias Anderson, Hollydrift. And what is this one? Dark is only hours away. The final day for J.D. Tippett is the explanation. Special thanks to God, says this musician. Oh, I guess it's not music, guys. You're right. Hake, this is straight up satanic. Does Hake have the lyrics? Hake, what were you on when you bought this? I was on a kick of liking music that might turn other people off. Is that antisocial? No, to this day, I still enjoy it. Hollydrift, Waiting for the Tiller, Parasomnic Records. Is this being played in reverse? This must be what Angels sounds like. Amazing. Hake knows how to ruin a perfectly good Friday. Yeah, jamming the frequencies. Sounds like the ambience from a horror film. You gotta be kidding me with this nightmare music, Hake. Aw, Big Bump says Hollydrift is ruining our friendship. It's almost over, guys. What is this? Blank trash music. Hake, do you listen to Aphex Twin? There was one awesome song / music video, I guess it's not music video, by Aphex Twin that I really liked with this alien. It was so cool. Poor Chris and Nick, says Raven 11. His God, yeah, which quote-unquote God is he referring to? J.D. Tippett guy. Is he the guy who dropped the A-bomb on Japan? J.D. Tippett. American police officer. He was an American police officer who served as an 11-year veteran with the Dallas Police Department about 45 minutes after the assassination of JFK. November 22nd, 1963, Tippett was shot and killed in a residential neighborhood in the Oak Cliff section of Dallas, Texas. Huh. I don't think he dropped the A-bomb on Japan. Died at the tender age of 39. Rest in peace, J.D. Tippett. Thank you for the history lesson, Hollydrift. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys bearing with me through that. You know what? Let me get right to TATFACE out of NYC. TATFACE, it's good to hear from you. Again, how are you?
What's going on, Hake? How you doing? I appreciate the show and everything.
Nice. Right on.
So, yeah, I was just calling because I just wanted to say that I love Trump. And I just always want to know why you think, like, there's a lot of people, like, on YouTube, like the guy Brandon, the officer, like, there's Trump supporters that they complain and say, oh, I'm not going to vote for him. Oh, he did this. I'm not going to do this. And they play the role for the liberals. Because if you like somebody, you just like them. You on their side. That's it. That's like me saying, oh, I don't like hate or something like, but you're my friend. Get what I mean? So it's like either you on Trump's side or you're not.
Right.
What do you think about that?
You know, I really appreciate and think of him as a fairly honest, quite an honest guy in general. You're referring to former officer Brandon Tatum, right? The black guy?
Yeah, him, and then the guy that went on the show, the rapper, and then I guess Jesse was like, oh, why do you, like, hate him or being, like, upset with him about something?
Oh, okay.
It's like, why people's being upset about anything? You on his side, that's it. So you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's no little bit, oh, let me be mad at him about this or about that. It's just, you on his side or that's it. No. But when they do that, they kind of ruin it a little bit on our side of it because it's like, you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of a downer, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but still, regardless, they have the right to do it. I disagree with them doing it. I think that you can have your valid criticisms, but
it's like with the shot.
Regardless,
Remember with the
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
it's like with the shot, because you know how some people say, oh, he said to take the shot, and they get mad.
Right.
He has to be a president to talk. He just got to talk to everybody. It's up to the person to do it.
Right.
And then it's like Trump supporters start getting mad at Trump, and it's like, whose side you on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Did you really like him or not?
I think that
It's
people,
the games they play.
you know, Ann Coulter is one of these people who I admire, highly respect. She does a lot of research. She knows what she's talking about generally.
Yeah,
but
I know about her.
she wrote this book called In Trump We Trust. Isn't that a little bit blasphemous? That means that she put Trump as instead of In God We Trust. And maybe I'm taking it a little too seriously, but she's one of the people who switched on him after he didn't, you know, he disappointed her. You shouldn't be disappointed in people. You should hold reasonable.
People that switch, people that switch, there was always a switcher. They switched with anybody. It wasn't just with Trump. It's just because he's president, so it makes it look bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that you may have a point. I think that what the problem is people got too excited and too attached to him, and then they were disappointed in him, and they saw he did disappointing things, and they identified with it. So they had to distance themselves to act like they're
But
like they wouldn't.
what,
That they,
you think?
I think that it's either pride or ego. I really think. And I really admire some of these people. There's another guy named Anomaly who's, I don't know if he would support Trump or not now, but he says, oh, Trump is a vaccine salesman. And he says that the Trump supporters are blind.
And
I think that he may be right that there are a lot of blind Trump supporters, but I never had any illusion that Trump would be completely fulfilling every wish that I had, where these people have wishes about Trump that weren't reasonable. Like, you can't have an expectation about things.
I mean, he did the best he can. I mean,
that's how I took it.
There's probably more he could have done, but I mean, there's people that just against him no matter what. It's always been like that because he's from New York, so they didn't like him, and they bring up taxes and this and that. They just make up stuff, and then I wanted to ask you, why do you think black people lie so much? Because I volunteered early at a soup kitchen on the west side, and they lie.
Yeah. You know what? I've noticed that, too.
And then they lie after a lie. We catch them, and they lie, and they keep on.
That's how Obama was, too, really. I think that there's a real lack of morals and a protection of the ego that happens with people, where they have no shame in or no dignity in just not holding to the truth and being like, okay, I was wrong.
Because you know what? Growing up in New York, I guess it was like I would say a sentence and then I'll throw something in. And, you know, I was doing that growing up. I haven't did that in a long time because I like to be a good person, at all times. But it's like in some cities, I guess they used to that. Like they lie about stuff and then like they make it up and they keep on and on and on and on until people just believe them somehow. And when they get caught, they still lie.
Yeah. Yeah, true. People aren't of the truth. Jesus said to the people who are the liars and the establishment of his day that they are the children of the father of lies, and who has been lying from the beginning. And they don't realize that they are liars.
They get mad about God too. You say something about God and they get mad.
Right.
Like they just get mad, and that right there shows that they're the devil.
Yeah.
Right there. There's no other way to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to be good versus evil, right versus wrong. It has to be something. Something has to be there. You got to believe about stuff, because if you don't believe in God, that means you can do whatever you want and you can act like that. And there's so many people that do that in each state. They just need a few hundreds of black people from each state for their story to continue.
Yeah. It's crazy. And we think that the election is never mind, I better stop myself. But anyway.
Well, so do you think Trump is gonna run and win and all this?
No, I don't think so, nor do I think he won't. I really have no idea.
But if he runs, you'll be on it? Like,
oh yeah, if he runs, I support him. If he doesn't run, I support his not running.
But looking at 2024 now, who you think is the leader of that? Who could maybe be there?
Oh, to me, it's only Trump or DeSantis. I like Trump. A distant second is DeSantis.
With DeSantis and Trump, I also noticed that some people, for some reason, everybody that loved Trump, some of them is like, yeah, I like DeSantis. He's better. He's better because he denies the shot. If he becomes president, he has to talk to everybody.
Right.
So he can deny the shot and be this guy that doesn't do the shot thing and all that stuff. Because I'm on that. I haven't took one shot yet.
Nice.
And I'm not. I haven't even took a flu shot.
Yeah.
I don't play those liberal games. There's too many games they being played.
Right.
But I think if Trump runs, he's gonna win. They cheated last time, of course, because everybody saw. If you had eyes, you saw the truth of what was going on or whatever.
I disavow.
But God bless Trump and God bless you, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, TATFACE. Take care.
All right, man. I'll give you a call another time.
That sounds good. Have a nice weekend.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
All right.
God bless.
You too. Wow. I want to get to Dawning Armor, but before I do, I have to share this story about this Daunte Wright story. I mean, blah, blah, blah. It's dumb, but apparently, according to my YouTube chat, Kim Potter, the white female former officer, honorable officer for a woman, had a great career, 26 years. She's 49 years old now. She was 48, I guess, when she killed Daunte Wright, apparently by accident. She was freaking out after she shot him. She was like, taser, taser, taser. Maybe she should have pulled her gun, really, because he was getting into a deadly weapon, also known as a vehicle, and he was running from the cops and acting erratic. It was very poor training, in my opinion. She was training this other white male rookie cop, and he was arresting Daunte, and Squirrely Daunte, with his fast twitch muscles, he ran. And I heard that his girlfriend was in the vehicle with him. She was in the car when he was shot and crashed. I don't know if she was injured. I don't know if that was his child's mother, because he was a father. But he had warrants, according to Wikipedia, I think I read, for gross misdemeanors. And so they pulled him over for like expired tags, or maybe his like air purifier, the thing that make the car smell good, was hanging down too low. And these dumb Democrats have all kinds of dumb rules in the local laws, in the state and local level, for how your setup is supposed to be in your car. Oh, your phone has to be on the lower left-hand side. It can't be in your line of view. It can't be anywhere else. dumb stuff like that. So here's some phony propaganda. I have a few headlines to share with you and pictures. And this guy has anyway, before I get to that, this is a phony propaganda from The Guardian, a foreign outlet. Yeah, that's right. UK is foreign now. They're foreign to America. They're no longer our brothers, or some of them are. Shout out to the UK brothers and sisters. But they don't have our values anymore. A lovable young man, Daunte Wright was a doting father with big life dreams, is this propaganda piece. And it has a cute picture of skinny, light-skinned, mixed-race Daunte Wright. Handsome young man with a handsome young son. Little baby. Cute picture. But this is not the real picture of the real Daunte as he was. Look at him. What a nice smile. Nice-looking kid. And now this son does not have his father. And it honestly, it is a little bit the officer's fault because poor training. They should not have put him in a position where he could run. But it's his fault, too. He ran. What kind of poorly raised... And he had both parents. I think they're married. Wright, who was fatally shot by a Minneapolis police, is remembered by his friends and family. This is from April 2021. As a witty, popular, charismatic kid. 20 years old. He's not a kid anymore. He's a grown adult male. The LA Slimes in Good Morning America, before I get to calls, shared this from April 2021. Daunte Wright's parents, quote unquote, can't accept that the officer killed their son by mistake. Look at this. And black father and white mother, and it's a mess. But they're both supposedly married. Daunte's parents speak out after the shooting in ABC News exclusive. He's never coming back. Psh. Oh, you know what? And there was another picture of this couple. I think it was both of the couple. At least it was the father. I think it's the couple. I can't accept that. A mistake that doesn't even sound right, says the dad. This officer has been on the force for 26 years. I can't accept that, he said. Daunte Wright was driving in Brooklyn Center, about 10 miles northwest of Minneapolis, stopped by police on that Sunday afternoon apparently in April of 2021. I don't know. The officers initially pulled him over for an expired registration tag on his car, but determined during the traffic stop he had an outstanding gross misdemeanor warrant. Gross misdemeanor. Wow. Sounds somewhat serious. He wasn't a felon, I guess. At least not convicted. Was this the same guy who allegedly shot a friend in the head and the friend is all messed up now? Or am I confused with a different situation? Who is a... Chat, tell me, because I could be confusing him with someone else. It's hard to keep these people straight. Because they're not morally straight people. Press 1 if I have that story correct. Press 2 if I have it wrong and it's somebody else. But I thought that Daunte Wright had done some things. Allegedly. Like, people were wanted to sue him. I don't think that the cops had any proof. And so people were making allegations. Robbie over there on Facebook, shout out to the Facebook crew, says that's him, and yes. Daunte Wright shot someone. He was involved, according to Daily Mail, June of 2021. A lawsuit claims that Daunte Wright shot a teenager in the head. And I don't know if that's true or not, you know, these people. But, it's not the whole story, you know. 2 different lawsuits filed against his estate that allege he was involved in the shooting of 2 men. One of 2 men involved in a carjacking March 21st of 2021 that left the victim, Joshua Hodges, with a gunshot wound to his leg, one lawsuit claims. The other man shot by Hodges and Wright shot Hodges. The other man shot Hodges, and Wright is accused of assaulting him before stealing his car. Second lawsuit alleges Wright, Daunte Wright, blah, 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 shot Caleb Livingston in the head and left him permanently disabled outside a gas station in May of 2019. Wright was not charged in either shooting incident, okay? So don't know what the real story is, but yeah, he is connected to those allegations. Allegations for which there is no proof. Allegedly. Right? So anyway, is that it? And Kim Potter, she's now convicted in a kangaroo court, I say, and it's so wrong. I showed you that months back, I showed you that Asian female so-called judge who talks all soft and pretended like the jury did their civic duty. I think that the jury couldn't come to a conclusion, and then so she like kind of forced their hand to come to a conclusion and convict this woman of first and second degree manslaughter or something, you know? So she's a married mother of 2 adult sons. Her husband was a cop too, and she had a great record. Kim Potter, pray for Kim Potter. One of the many whites and cops falsely under attack, in my opinion, because of this phony BLM mess. What a shame. Anyway, let me get to Dawning Armor in California. Dawning Armor, appreciate you holding. What's up?
What's going on, buddy? I said my name was Christopher.
Oh, Christopher, it's good to hear from you, man. Apologies.
Yeah.
Nice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I that's why I said it. So, first and foremost, I just wanted to touch on a subject that you mentioned earlier with a gentleman that called into the show. You said that the difference between atheism and agnosticism was atheists are basically dead set on the fact that there is no God.
Yeah.
And that is not the case. So, atheist, if you look at it, then you break the word down. A is a prefix, theist, belief in God. A as a prefix is without. So it means that we don't believe in God. It doesn't mean that we are set in stone, that we know 100% that there is no God. We're dealing with issues of belief. Do you believe in a God? Do you not believe in a God? Agnosticism.
But do you believe that there is no God?
I don't have a belief in a God. Agnosticism deals with
just
knowledge.
Right, but a yes or no question, because dealing with belief. Do you believe that there is no God?
Well, you'd have to tell me what God is, and you can't. Nobody can tell anybody what God is. It's just a word.
But you have an idea of what a God in some form would be. I think we all do, right? And you're right. That's a very interesting statement. None of us really know who or what God is, right? But because we can't comprehend him or whatever. Or, yeah. But do you believe that there is no God?
Well, you'd have to tell me what God is.
You don't know what God means or is?
No. Nobody knows what God means. At least.
How do you know that nobody knows that?
Because I've never met anybody.
But JLP says that he knows what God is. So are you saying that he doesn't, that he's lying or is mistaken?
What does JLP say God is?
Love. I think he says God is love.
Okay, so then you're asking me the correct question would be, do you believe in love?
Yes.
Yes, I believe in love.
Aw, see, you believe in God.
Oh, you converted me. I'm Christian.
No, I didn't.
I mean, nobody can define what God is.
But you have no idea, you have no concept of God is what you mean.
No, what my concept of what God is would be, I guess, the creator of everything.
Okay, and so do you believe that there is no creator of everything?
Whatever it is, I don't think it's anything that we have figured out. if it exists in the first place.
So that
if
sounds
you want
like
to go down this, if you want to go down this road, what we would end up with would be irreducible complexity. That is, Kalam's cosmological argument, everything that exists had a cause, and that one true cause of everything was whatever you would consider to be God. But then one could easily just say, well, what caused God? And that's irreducible complexity, and nobody has an answer to that. So it's just nonsense.
Okay. Asmodor states, God is the omnipotent, all-powerful, omniscient, all-knowing, omnipresent, existing at all points in time, being who created the universe and everything in it.
Yes.
And you
like I
believe
said,
there is no that.
No, as I said, that doesn't really answer anything. We can't even answer where the universe came from or how it came to be, but he's already notched himself up, and he's trying to explain something that's even bigger than what we can't understand at this point. So what my main point was, before I get to what my actual conversation with you was going to be, is there is, oh my goodness, there is no understanding that which can't be understood. And you cannot ascribe to your notion of a God that which exists. So if everything that exists is because you have a word, be it God or be it loop or some nonsensical word, you cannot interpret it. You can say that it's all-knowing. You could say that it's all-powerful. You could say that it's all good. But you really haven't defined what it is that we're speaking of.
Atheist. This is a screenshot of a definition. Noun. One who denies the existence of God or of a supreme intelligent being.
What was the second part of that?
One who denies the existence of a God, the second part, or of a supreme intelligent being.
Okay, well, like I said, you can't define what God is. You could say that God
those are definitions, man. You're just rejecting the definitions as being kind of meaningless.
If you break the word down, atheist, without theism, that's what it means. So it's not saying that we undeniably maintain the fact that there is
but you
no
can't
God.
even answer the question directly. Do you believe that there is no God?
I can't answer the question directly because you haven't provided a coherent definition.
I've given you three different definitions, and I provided for your own definition.
No, you haven't given me any definition.
Yes, I have. I've given you three.
You've said that it's eternal. You've said that it's all good, all powerful, all knowing. Well, you haven't defined what it is.
So, in other words, you're admitting that one, you don't know what God is, and two, you can't answer it because
I don't know what God is
because you don't know what God is.
I don't know what God is any more than you do. I think it's a made-up term. It's a fictitious term.
But that's an assumption.
Well, it's as best as we can do.
No, it's not. It's as best as you can do. You and the atheists, right? We all got our issues, right? The atheists got their issues, weaknesses.
To be honest with you, you can't define what God is. Is it a him or her or she?
Everybody knows it's a him. Everybody knows God is a him.
You can't define it by any...
Everybody knows God is a him. So now you're just making up stuff.
Everybody knows God is a him?
Yes.
How?
God has always been a him. We've always known that.
By who?
By everybody all throughout history, practically. But all of a sudden, the atheists think that they're so much smarter than everybody else. I know that you claim that you don't think that you're smarter than everybody else, but...
No,
but you're playing dumb.
You're also asking this question to the previous caller. My IQ is 124, so as I've always maintained, just slightly above average.
Right, that's But you think that you're more perceptive in thinking that the
you're
starting
not-
assumption
you're not
would be that there is no
qualifying
God.
Matriarchal societies. Matriarchal societies would say that God is a her. We've
But
often
everybody
heard
knows
throughout
matriarchal
mythos-
societies are full of it. Everybody knows that.
We've also heard throughout various societies, matriarchal societies, what God or Mother Earth is a female.
No, but God is not Mother
female
Earth.
gives birth to human beings.
Now you're playing silly, though, because everybody knows
I'm
that
not playing
matriarchal
silly.
societies have no
You
validity.
define what God is to me, except for
I don't have
saying
to.
it's this thing
You-
or that thing.
You don't even know. If you
You
don't know
define
what
it.
God is, you're the ignorant one.
Okay.
Yeah. An
Well, just
atheist
leave it there.
denies that. Here's a super chat. An atheist denies that there is a God. An agnostic says he doesn't know. This person can argue about that all he wants, but his jibber jabber is just that, jibber jabber. It says
Yes,
supreme
no,
being right there in the dictionary definition.
What an atheist does is says that he does not believe actively in a God. And what an agnostic
That's what you claim,
says-
but you're stubbornly
Excuse me.
denying.
Just give me a second.
Go ahead.
What an agnostic does is says one cannot possibly know. So we're dealing with knowledge and belief.
Right.
An agnostic would lean towards knowledge. What the atheist and the theist, you're a theist, I am an atheist.
Uh-huh.
What we would say is, do you believe in a God or do you not believe in a God?
Right.
But the agnostic comes with, it completely sideskirts the issue of belief and just says one cannot possibly know.
That's how
So
you think,
there-
though.
It's not how I think. It's
Yes,
how
it is.
No, it's
You
not.
have the belief that no one can possibly know because you reject that anybody knows.
Yes, I reject
You
that.
start with the assumption that nobody else knows just because you don't know.
Correct.
And
you have
nobody
the
ex-
an-
And
you have
nobody
the
explains it to you well enough for you.
You have the assumption that people can know, and you yourself proclaim to know.
Nuh-uh.
Do
I
know
told
that
you
there's
a
God?
person who knows,
No,
JLP.
I'm asking you. I'm
Go ahead.
asking you. Do you know that there's a God?
Yeah, I think I basically know that there's a God. Look around.
Okay. So then you claim knowledge. I don't.
Right. But you claim knowledge,
right.
you claim knowledge that isn't true. You claim to know that nobody else knows, which you don't know what anybody else knows.
Well, I don't want to get bogged down with this, but I mean, if you want to, I mean, you're the one that professes knowledge of something.
No,
that
you're
you
the one
can't possibly know.
you're the one professing knowledge that nobody can define it for you when it's not their responsibility to define it for you. Look for yourself.
I have.
You have?
Yes,
Nice.
and I've been found wanting.
Yep. That's for sure.
So you're the one that claims to know there's a God. I'm the one that says
It's not my
I don't
responsibility
know.
to
No, I'm the one that says I don't know. I can't possibly know.
and
But
you
all
can't be
time-
honest that you believe that there is no God.
And as far as I have searched,
Or maybe
I've
you believe that
done
there is a
myself-
God, but you can't be honest about that either.
I can't be honest now.
Right. You can't admit.
Now you're attacking my character.
Correct. Atheists are arrogant liars.
I'm arrogant in the sense that I say that I'm ignorant on a particular issue.
Nuh-uh.
That being
Nope.
the
Nuh-uh.
existence of God.
No, because you're assuming to know that nobody else knows. You admitted to me that you
You're
assume
assuming to know
that
and
nobody
I'm
else knows.
assuming that I don't know. So who's
No,
the
you're
arrogant?
assuming that you know that nobody knows. We already been through this.
Yeah, time and time again. So anyway, do you want to forego this, endeavor, or would you like to talk about what I wanted to say, or shall we stick with this? Because so far it sounds to me like you're saying you know that there's a God and you know what God is.
No, you can't
although
even
cannot
answer my
define it.
question. I gave you one question and you refused to
Give me-
answer because
give me
you
your
can't.
One question again.
You believe that there is no God. Do you believe that there is no God? Yes or no?
What is God?
Answer the question.
I don't know what God is.
Answer the question.
I'm answering the question. I don't know what God is.
No, that's not the question. The question is, do you believe that there is no God?
Tell me what a God is.
No, I'm not going to tell you what a God is. Do you believe that there is no God?
Because you can't.
Nor can you answer the question because you don't want to answer the question.
If you tell me what a God is, I'll give you a yes or no.
I'm not going to tell you what a God is. You have to know for yourself what God is.
You're going to tell me, do you believe in an X, but you're not going to define what an X is.
Everybody has a concept of what a God is. You just told me what what your concept of a God is, and you don't want to answer.
Many different people have many different definitions of what a God is.
So, what's your definition of what a God is?
No, it means what yours is.
No,
Only then can I give you an answer.
I'm not telling you what I think it is. I've already told you. So
then I can't answer your question, can I?
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. But can we get to what I wanted to talk about, which is identity? You're not willing to define what you believe in.
If you admit that you don't want to answer the question directly. Because you made the claim that atheists neither believe nor disbelieve that there is a God. And now you can't admit that you believe that there's a God or you don't believe that there's a God.
We're going around in circles.
I know.
Okay, so let's just move on if we can, because I'm not going to...
Let it be known that Donning Armour refused to answer the question.
Correct. And let it be known that James Hake refused to define God.
I did define it. You just refused to accept the definition.
Okay, then we're fine.
Yeah.
So do you believe that it is right or wrong or irrelevant to have a sense of identity?
I think it's wrong. My suspicion. My suspicion is that it's wrong.
Okay. So, do you have a sense of identity?
Yeah.
And can you, put them to words?
Yeah. As someone who was raised by my family, I think of myself as someone who was raised by my family and has held on to the religious principles of my family and embraced them a little bit more on my own, apart from them. And so I'm a Christian, and I'm a talk show host working for JLP, and these are all false identities that I've taken on.
Identity. Your Christianity is false identity?
Right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so you identify as a Christian, but that's false. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't think that it's a good thing.
So you should not identify as Christian.
Right. I should be a Christian, but not be all identified with it.
What's the difference? Can you explain that?
I think people's pride gets caught up in false pride gets caught up in their identity. Kind of like you're into being white, right? And you're into being part of your family. So much so that you live with your father to this day. And you think that that's a good thing to do. And to this day. And so being into the black thing or into the white thing or into the Christian thing, a lot of Christians have the wrong idea about being a Christian. Like we just went around in circles about what God is. And it's kind of, it's honestly kind of deep.
If they had the right idea, which I know that you're not going to illustrate. How
do you know? You don't know. You don't know what the future is.
Okay, well then what's the right idea of being a Christian? If they had the right idea, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
They wouldn't hold on to like an idea. They would live by the light. Walk in the light. Can you decrypt that for me? Yeah, like you live in the moment and you don't hold on to a value that a false value that doesn't pertain. It sounds right, but doesn't pertain to the moment. That kind of thing. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying with that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
Some people say, for an example, some people say, you should be honest all the time. That doesn't mean you expose let it all hang out. Some people take that honesty and let it all hang out, be shameless and or else confess all their so-called sins to the world. That's not what it means. That's a false value of so-called honesty applied in a wrong way, in an intellectual, female-minded way.
So are you saying that at certain times dishonesty would be the better approach?
Or not necessarily dishonesty, although perhaps there is a time to lie, but not telling everything. You don't have to tell everything. That's ridiculous.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to boil it down a little bit further, and I know you got more calls to get to. So when it comes to in-group, out-group preferences, right, which is what we're talking about when we talk about identity, you would identify as being a Christian, not an atheist, correct?
In-group, out-group preferences. Okay, yes, I would identify with being a Christian, yeah.
Okay, so for you to push your moral compass with your in-group preference of being a Christian, that would entail that you would help other Christians.
Yeah, where appropriate,
Okay, and you identify as a conservative rather than a liberal. You identify as conservative.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you identify as white rather than black?
White, yeah.
Okay. So all of those are in-group preferences. You identify as Christian, conservative, white. How about this? We'll add one more. You identify as a straight man rather than a homosexual.
Right.
Okay. You are a Christian.
I don't even think that that's an identity, though. But yeah. See, that's another example of a false identity. But go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
carry on.
Then we can let that one go. Christian, conservative, white man. That's what you are. That's what you identify as.
Yeah, it's among the things that I identify with.
Now, having that in-group preference, does that not better the group? Is that not a more powerful stance, accepting the fact that you have those identities, which you yourself have made? Does that help white Christian men of conservative character? Does that help them because you have that in-group preference? Or do you want to throw all of that and flush it down with the baby with the bathwater, and say all that matters is do good and no good, whatever that means? What if you look at other groups that have in-group preferences? Do they not have a benefit from having that in-group preference? Should we throw that out, the baby with the bathwater, or should we embrace it?
Obviously, we should hold to those things where appropriate. Is there anything that I or Jesse have ever said that would indicate we would surrender the country and not want the country to be white?
Well, would you want the country to be a white minority?
No.
Okay, so I wouldn't either.
Nice.
But why is it that you consistently, as JLP does and as Nick does, why would you turn your back on these identity preferences rather than call them out? Should white people not wish to remain majority in their own nations?
They should. What have we ever said that would indicate that that we think that they shouldn't?
Well, whenever racial biological differences are brought into the mix, you seem to revert and conflate the issue with morality.
It is an issue of morality.
Rather than explicitly saying you wish for white nations to remain white, you'd say, well, people need to be moral, upstanding citizens. No,
I've said both things. That's false. You're falsely accusing me, and you seem to jump to conclusions about what I think when I've explicitly said white countries should remain white. You just have an assumption that what's right doesn't mean whites can't have their countries, which obviously whites should have their countries.
Okay, but obviously whites are losing their countries, are they not?
Right.
Okay, why are they losing their countries?
Because they've fallen away from what's right. They've fallen away from
because
strength.
They don't have an in-group preference for their own kind.
Is it a diagnosis? That's your diagnosis of the problem. Our diagnosis of the problem is that they've fallen away from strength. They've fallen away from what's right.
What other group of people are being told that they shouldn't love themselves, that they shouldn't have a strong in-group preference?
None that I'm aware of.
So it's only whites that are being told that they
only
can't
whites, only men, only Christians. Yeah.
Okay. So I am a pushback to that. Are you?
A pushback to that false attack on whites? Yeah, of course.
So
I do it practically every day, but you get frustrated with me for some reason.
Am I wrong for having a strong in-group preference and being proud of being a white man?
Am I wrong? You may be a little bit wrong in certain ways, yeah.
I'd love to hear you explain those ways.
I think where you go wrong is your rejection of God, maybe. But anyway, man, very interesting. We've been at it almost 25 minutes.
Yeah,
my fault. That's my fault. Don't feel bad. It's great talking with you. A lot of the chat frustrated with you, but it's really my fault because of whatever. I got caught up with the atheist argument.
Wherever I go, it's okay.
Nice hearing from you, Christopher. We'll talk more, I imagine. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah. Have a good one, Mr. Hake.
All right. Take care. Man, my bad, I guess. I'm not even sure. An atheist, super chats, guys. Shaking my head, I guess, at myself if I went too long. That was too long, I guess, because 25 minutes, it's ridiculous. Asmodor states, an atheist denies there's a God. An agnostic says he doesn't know. This person can argue about all he wants, but jibber jabber, just jibber jabber. Oh, I already said that one. Sorry. Your girlfriend with a few super chats repeating the same thing, I think. Thank you, your girlfriend. I assume that you gave 3. It looks like you gave 3. Deadbeats like Mr. Armour desire an ethno-state so he can leech off the actual productive whites like illegals and blacks freeload off functioning Americans. He'd have nothing to offer or contribute, says your girlfriend. Anything I can't understand isn't real. Yawning Armor. That's Asmodor saying that. It's understandable in a weird way, Asmodor states, how someone who claims to be above average, as in IQ, but has reached his 40s and never managed to live away from his parents for one day. He might have, I'm not sure, but he certainly is back with his father. Would have a problem answering simple questions. It's understandable in a weird way. Yeah. Interesting. Good super chats, guys. Adric with the super chat, referring to another obstinate caller, Russ, in Hampton, Virginia. Another atheist, black atheist. Man, that's really far gone, right? Russ has the intellectual capacity of pond scum. Have a great weekend, James and crew. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate the super chats. And forgive me. Forgive me. Man. We are at the top of the hour, guys. Gabriel in Toronto, Canada, wanted to talk about the existence of God. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona, wanted to talk about Trump's charges. Trevor, a first-time caller in England, asked, do you like the band Megadeth? And I do have a Megadeth album, although I haven't listened to it that much. So I guess that's a somewhat yes. Man, guys, I apologize. Maybe I should start going 3 hours, but I don't know. That's that for that. BLM flag was flying underneath the American flag at the U.S. Embassy in Brazil. It's ridiculous. Shame, shame, shame. Pray for the truckers. Pray for the cops. Pray for the whites. And keep praying. Nice. Thank you, guys. This has been hopefully an interesting show. I was definitely interested, but I was kind of caught up, so I don't know how it sounded on the outside. Thanks. Take care.